It's a friend of me, Makwaba, Better News TV. So, best of Sawunyan, subscribe to Better News TV. Mess us over subscribe, no like and no share, no one turn on notification bell on Sabaya update BI Bayon on Sabit me. I can make a comment section once your dear. Mess us over leave your comments, never be a cost 101. And some banner at the brand, some my day body, and some a ditcham, some da, and ma Ghana for, and then a chitu, or mummy business no. Yura John Dramani Mahama Asia Guta for na and some of a to Ghana Air Tresse a year a byway a buyer or join Ghana Business Association. Sa Guta for no some various taxes a year ex President John Dramani Mahama a few of incoming president or dear two Ghana say ya or dear Maguta in Ghana for no. Papa I implemented a new policy. Our the back candy Medino that after the 24-hour economy, upon the new idea, new implementation of policy, obey, Mumianko, Ninkoti and Sama, or the two jar. The bad Yakabiana, infant Cameroon de Biarada, na and some bands, national women organizer, and so the two jar, na bisu, na Yanko, Nina Kaho, and near for Fruby, Mumianko, and a bad Yakabiana, infant Cameroon that, near comes a higher better news TV. Message so subscribe no like and no share no turn on notification bell no sabe update BI bell no sabeka me go timra
papa na nde wo game pa metene se NPP aban origina minister of works and housing oyo honorable Kojo Ponkroma osanso ofuanse ayerebi member of parliament and say omo launch performance tracker. Omo launch performance tracker in there wo game pa mecha Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration. I trust you kind of game pa in there na course so pay. Na asama Kojo Ponkroma kan efa performance tracker no de se weni ensa me ka cho. Omo say over 13,000 projects na performance tracker so enti omo launch na ye bisa se MPP mo adwuma no wa hen adwuma no hen na nti mu tie me MPP adwuma no hen na wa mo launch performance tracking 13,000 o kan sem bebre wo ho a na bro adwen nti ase so ye hwa ye hu na performance tracker ye be hu de MPP de mo yo mo kai se covid buy on so mo de tracker bi buy that tracker so ye hu be hwe no mo ekoso a na ese weni ni na wo tracker no so ana ye hu sa performance tracking Kojo Ponkroma kasa ya Dr. Mahmoud Baumia ohumoye mepese ebeko na yakohwe sa performance tracking enka no omo se omo friend delivery tracker na si ade performance tracker Kojo Ponkroma and again pan some of the children yenkoti emra
mentioned, and that work is what has led us to what we call today the performance tracker, or what some will call the tracker 2.0. The URL will read performancetracker.gov.gh. So what is the performance tracker? The performance tracker is first of all a database. It's a database that showcases the performance of the government of Ghana. And it showcases it through the various projects that have been executed across the 261 districts. And this database has two interfaces. One is a website. So you can go onto that website, www.performancetracker.gov.gh, and you can access that database, and shortly I'll take you through that database. The other is an app. Today, the mobile phone is a very powerful tool, sometimes even beyond what your desktop can do. And on the app, on the iOS system, as at now, I'm told the app version has been uploaded, and in the coming weeks, on the Android system, the app version will also be uploaded. So it's a database. You can access it through a URL, performancetracker.gov.gh, or you can download the app and access that database. And what it does is that it showcases the performance of the government of Ghana across the 261 districts, across the 28 ministries, and across the 16 regions. Now, it's an enhanced version of the 2020 tracker that the government put out. And the enhancement is in three features. First, it's more user-friendly than before. It's easier to navigate this particular database. Second, it's gone through a very rigorous validation exercise. And as was mentioned, down through to the district level, town by town, to geotag the projects and to take photos of the project so that you can see it. It's also got, for the first time, metrics, data that you can then analyze and do the necessary comparisons, and we'll take you through it shortly. It is a live platform, and so even as we go on from today, there will be a continuous exercise to update and to validate. The latest data set you will find on it is June 2023. That's the latest.
Iti meteno honorable Kojo Pon Kroma ono na odisa performance track and etudwa no Ghana fo se enye mehiani honorable Kojo Pon Kroma Dr. Mahmoud Baumia enye we na yehia enye performance track na de aduane ebesi epon so nneema bebre ho ahohia enso enye we ma se sika twitwi di na performance tracker ma ya yenim enye afi na ye online na akwa ma ya yenim NDC Green Book 2016 who said 2016 Green Book will be a way hospital is seen wa betifi and pobekwa betifi na ho wo hwa obe hu sesi ho eno kra mo beka che se Photoshop na ehun performance tracker bia ye hia performance tracker e dey project na ma ya over 13,000 enya mehiani Ghana fo say enya mehiani ye pe ade beboa ye betumi aman na koso ma bo bibia timamni bi ehun se ne ma ekoso performance tracker ma for sika tupi di aye we abeka che say performance tracker ya kwan ahoro asese nneema ehia no monye ye first kana na mo aye ne basa de aye ne we ho budget jojodo mu ya ma beka che say mu break it na sa performance tracker ho asemi na honorable Kofi Adams oye member of parliament di ma boom ode abetu dwa say boomfo almost omu hu ma ekoso performance tracker no so na ya performance tracker bon kun yenko ti asema onabo Kofi Adams member of parliament di ma buem or the tudwa or performance tracker no
4 cities in the so-called tracker. In my own constituency, they launched bridges they claim they have constructed, roads they claim they have done, when actually nothing has happened there. In my constituency in Buim, there's supposed to be a bridge between Accra community and Accra Cortes that they have done nothing, but the trackers then said they have done it. They claim they have done the road between Guama community and Atonko, which had not been done. They place all these things in it. At least I've given you that of my constituency. Same thing happened in many other areas. So I will not be surprised that they will be launching another pack of lies. But we will check it. And I know you will lead the charge on that. We'll stop them from launching their so-called tracker. Let them launch it and we will check. And just as we did in the first one and we exposed the 4 cities, you'll be seeing it this time round again. Except that they will follow it with all that. After all, they are ministers. The Ashanti regional minister was on a program. He was asked to mention at least 5 projects that they have initiated in Ashanti region where he has been the regional minister since they came to power. He couldn't. The current minister for roads and highways was also on a program. And they asked him to mention projects. You know the projects you could mention, projects that way. I would not have been worried if these liabilities as presented is matched with developments that we see around the country. That we have good roads, that we have proper electricity supply, that we have proper markets, that we have good hospitals to attend to, that we have good schools, and so on and so forth. That you are seeing investments and you see the liabilities, there wouldn't have been any problem. Like the previous administration did. We invest heavily, say the Ghana gas, and so it's repaying for itself. We invested in airports, it's paying for itself. We invested in hospitals, and we see this around roads and what have you. But this huge jump, this huge liability cannot be matched with developments that we will see. So it has remained phantom expenses that cannot be matched with anything on the ground. Because if you pay Power China, MS Power China for the Palugu project of almost $12 million, and they have done nothing. how will that even help the economy to grow? Because the whole idea is to help irrigation so that persons who live from those regions coming down seeking for jobs would not. And that during dry season, they could still continue with farming. Now you have paid almost 12 million of our money to them. You've done nothing. That becomes liability for us.
Honorable Kofi Adams na yetene can member of parliament in Mabuom for in the OT region. Ono na watch na drain wo eye performance tracker no ono kre enye mehiani because original minister Ashanti region Honorable Simon Osei Mensah kra no ebisa no 5 projects went to me ambo. Number catcher say move over 13,000 projects ewe hemfa. There is no need say be kwa performance tracker bia MPP aban eye na nado danko akufa de Dr. Mahmoud ba obi ni bibi pepe bia de mai anya sa Ghana fo ye beto omo so because ye hu project bi o mai John Dramani Mahama ye nim legacy o jeto ho wanye eye tracker kra na ye nim ye fa ha nkran krodue mu me fa se circle Dubai ene na si we enye fe me fa ha me hu rate enye na wo hwe enye fe dia bium na ye nka His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ye bebrebe aye kan almost performance tracker yen kokore tracker no so anse ye hu yen kokore tracker no so anse ye hu nduma mai munni hweye ye hu awie enye 7 months na mo ba bedada ye ya fa ye hu adwene awie ഈ performance tracker den wasan discretry di mon dwen Ghana fo ho wala atena nduase esua de school dan so pa ekomo de nkwala nkofo mo supply mo nuane mo de ma school fo no sabi wa mo sika kramba be de na nkwala na enya aduane adi ofo mo supply ntare e de ma school fo nkwala no ntare no e akonso sika no enkoye e bobo mu dua na aban no mu hu so a mo be ka che se performance tracker ye mu ni momoka. And that's so any other a movement for change ano aye Ralan Kojo Trematin oni Guta fusiae e kodi di nkomo na enkomo no no Guta president or the nsem bebre na na odi tuga efa aye meeting e course no nti ebekọ na ekotie aye Guta president Mr. Joseph aye Obeng nsem odi tuga abra mo no ora Kojo Trematin ehia en mo enkotie mra.
It's going on very smoothly. Fortunately, I think they are all started understanding our concerns. We have itemized about 20 points and discussing with them to factor them into their manifesto programs. And I think so far, so good. We are very impressed with what is going on. Everything has been issue-based, and we are discussing dispassionately. And everybody have conducted himself well. Yeah.
What are some of the key things that are standing out for you in your engagements with any of them?
You know, cost of doing business is our major concern. The VAT structure is also a major concern. The import substitution that have been coming back and forth is also a concern. So we have a whole lot of things that we are discussing, how to even industrialize the nation, moving from trading to manufacturing and all that. How to patronize made in Ghana goods and the interest rate and other indicators of the economy that is working against us. We are discussing and finding ways where we can solve these problems in the event that one of them emerge as a winner. They are not behaving as if they owe the idea. They are sharing the idea with us, and all our input are being considered by almost all of them. If you know, one thing that is very interesting, you see that the Vice President has started talking about the flat rate tax system that he's going to bring. And when our former president also went to Abusukan, he also promised a fixed rate. It means that we are converging somewhere. It means that they've understood our plight and know that the duties that we are paying is exorbitantly high, and that is unbearable, and that is making Ghanaians not doing the right thing by even submitting right documentation.
What do you expect from today's engagement?
Fruitful as usual. The trend is the same, and I believe it will go the same way it has gone with the MPP, the same way it has gone with the NDC. We believe that the butterfly movement or the movement for change will also adhere to our concerns.
Enti Mr. Joseph Obeyna Eten kan Guta president. Ono na odena no same di atudwa abro money movement for change. Ora kodwa lan chermaten ono ni di ehia no nsem a omudi hu nkomo ne bi na ode atudwa no. Ye wo Guta nsensem na yen sorry. Incoming president His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ono so enra one Guta for sanhwea. Mr. Joseph Obeyna one ne team ono omudi nkomo eni so ade hu no wo ma Gutafo a omoton ade so obo betumi abo mo na bibie etumi akonkan Mr. John Mahama de okon ye nti oni Gutafo hia no ma ye nkonkohwe nsema oni omudi kan
Muse enenhia mu ya behia ura ni monyamfo ye ni ara papa ura Dramani John Mahama ya ade a me betumi akase me hu na metin makum for Africa. Now, they don't also forget the fact that our national head office, the secretariat, was given to us by you, your very self. The issue that is so dear to the heart of the traders, being the influx of foreigners, have been a pain for business people across the regions. And we don't also forget the fact that it is during your administration that you revised the investment law from that state that people were abusing it to its present state.
Enti Mr. Joseph Obeyna yeten nkano ono na oye Guta president no His Excellency John Dramani Mahama omuni hia ya omudidi enkomo no nsema omo kan His Excellency John Dramani Mahama so editu dwa ne omudi nkomo no so eniso ade hu na woma Guta ekuo no ne Ghana fo ade tonfo nyina so oba obetumi ama economy no aye adwuma na niam etumi akoso it's 24-hour economy no Guta fo so say good policy ebetumi aboa I'm happy
that we have the opportunity to meet again. Guta is a very important organization, as you said, because in every economy, the movements of goods and services is a very important aspect of economic progress and economic growth. And it's you who move goods all across this country to make sure that people have the supplies that they need to be able to carry out their work. And that's why we would always consider you as one of the important stakeholders in our economy. To move goods and services, you must have imported a car. And I was just looking at the charges. This is it's a 2023 Lexus. These are the charges. 20% import duty. Then, after that, import VAT. Then, processing fee. Then, ECOWAS levy. Then, vehicle examination fee. Then, network charges. Then, network charge VAT. Then, network charge COVID. Oh, I'm shocked. Then Ghana Shippers Authority. Then import NHIL. Then network charge NHIL. Then GHS disinfection fee. Then MOTI import declaration fee. Special import levy. Ghana Export Import Bank levy. Ghana Education Trust Fund. Ghana Education Trust Fund network charge. African Union Import Levy. Then COVID Health Recovery Levy. Then certification. Then IRS. You know, there's overage penalty by 0 because it's a new car. But if it was an overage car, it means it will be 23. You know? And so I was shocked myself. And I think, you know, but I'm going to tell you something. And this is about taxes and levies. Yeah. President gave a very good idea and said, look, we need to spread the tax net. And the other day I was talking about it. I am a head of a household. Myself and Auntie Lodina live in the house with our children. People come and work in the house. Somebody comes to service the air conditioners. Somebody comes to change the lights. Electricians come. I mean, all kinds of services. And you should see the charges. For me, I don't know whether they are presidential charges. Maybe because I've been president before. They are charging me more. But I'm sure you are facing the same this thing. The least work they come and do in your house is 1,000 cedis and over. And the question one asks is, those people who are charging, you pay them in cash, they take their money and they walk away. What tax are they paying on that money? And so it means that there are a whole host of people who are making good money but are not paying any taxes. And for most of them, they say they are in the informal economy. And so they don't register businesses. They are artisans.
Ana His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Kano, we share Guta for Brepao, we share 22 levies, fees so mutua for clearance. A brad drenantia so. Don't say, oh, Chebibi, artisans, yenu anumbi or a fitani, a yenu anumbi or a carpentani, yenu or a sprayer. Onondo kwa ye adwana na wajiska no ahye ne botom ontua tax bia sanko ofo no so e eno no se yetumi tena form adwene efa adwene se tie be de na ye nkofo we mu so no etumi etua taxes sa no kire na nye gutafo na yesua taxes ene eyi dugu omo so mo bresa ha adwene ye pa ha clearance se me ha adwene ye His Excellency John Dramani Mahama san kasa e de fansama ye kan ho asem ya.
One, clearance procedures must be made easier. One of the promises I make you is that we're going to sit together with our trade ministry and we're going to look at all the fees and charges at the port and rationalize them. Those that are not necessary illegal fees, we'll take them out so that we can make things easier. We're going to let the port work 24 hours. And it's part of a strategy for the 24-hour economy. There's no reason why we can't clear our things on Sunday. There's no reason why we can't clear our things on holidays. The port is an essential service. The way that the electricity company does not go on leave on Sundays and holidays is because it's an essential service. The port is also an essential service. And so the port must continue to work every day of the week, including holidays. And so we'll do that. So that people can clear their goods as quickly as possible. Aside from that, in order to make your lives easier, we're going to license some financial institutions. And so if your container is coming and you don't have the money to clear it immediately, you will go to the financial institution to be licensed to do that kind of business in the port. It will be a specialized financial service. So you take your customs document and then take it to the institution and say, look, my cargo is coming. These are the goods I have in it. This is the duty I'm supposed to pay. You sign an agreement with them, depending on how long you want. I want a month to be able to gather the money to clear, or 2 months, or 3 months. Government will regulate the interest that they will charge you so that it's not excessive. So as soon as your container is put down, they will pick up your container, they'll pay government's money to it, and they'll move your container to their warehouse. And your container will be there. And then you take your time, put your money together, you go and take your container, and you go away. And so that is one of the things that we're looking at, to license special financial institutions to do that specialized service so that government will also get its money up front. There will be no problem with somebody's container staying in the port, demurrage, and all that kind of thing. Aside from that, we're going to look at the issue of shipping agents. It has come up not only in this discussion, but when we met the clearing and forwarding agents and all of them, everybody complained about the shipping agents, about the fees they are charging. A lot of those fees are not being charged in other ports or any other place. The same companies are operating in other ports. They are not charging those fees. So why are you charging them in Ghana? And so those are fees that we're going to take away so that it reduces the cost of doing business in our port too.
It is Excellency John Dramani Mahama Nyansafo Onona Yatsene Kasa Odiatu Edra NDC Amayeku no Ghana foto NDC nsem no ton nsem a o preaching na oba mbo betumi de aboma de tonfo so ho ha mo na bibia etumi akonkan ona His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ode atudwa nti we Ghana ne na wutie mi a honipa obetumi abo ma eniema etumi akọ enkan e de ama Ghana fo nyina Nandra Yohana, yehu say assembly senate. A senate assembly so ehu pa o. Ehu ye papa. Ora ten cry. Ono na oye director edema eye senate edwumakui. Esi ayabone tuja. Abone tuja na Safoma for junior. Eni so no oye deputy director edema eye senate. Esi ano na odi ade. Na asem no ebo obia pose kakra se aso. Ratten crying, why a bonny be a moma yehu, na nyese, Yoha no becaso, Papa no coffee, enti, me pacho brat television, na behe ofia when you beji ye papa, oberhema a what TV swa, and I will hear Facebook Live and I say, a friend is saying, YouTuber, when you beji behe, Rosa for Marfo, and then I attention, no, ye senior presidential advisor. Rosa for Marfo na ete enchen no na His Excellency na nado danko akufado onkonja na konya no fi se okoja akonya na mebesi aha on se wo hwese smart ya ye no kufodu ya okoja akonya ni nti eduru bebi na se edwuma ni na mama Rebecca etumeye nti na konya no tim no na kenta na de egu ne fane ne for safo Marfo so ahye suit kama pa eno na wo hu no na osafo Marfo ba no yesi ne hene nti eye oru osafo Marfo ba ye friend Mr. Kofi Bosompem osafo Marfo eye Mr. Kofi Bosompem osafo Marfo ono no si na nado danko akufado enan so no na neni agi sei ya hye na henche na eye senior presidential advisor ni papa so no tenche na His Excellency na nado danko akufado so eno so na sesia no eye Bosompem osafo Marfo some people osafo Marfo tenant and so in the say the friends government in a year family and friends government and na a year juma ma no so hu bi no in the say de ye bisa se de bone na aye rabosompem aya aten cry aya ye hu adekro aye John ofori ten cry ye mfa nchemu mbae but your man up to 15th of April the on to mfa ni bibia ye de bosom mensa so salary na de man so mfa nkofie mfa nkodi na yere ni na ebusuafo aduane nti yegusu bisa say ya terminate papa no contract in if your office on hand over dia bone na why omra na His Excellency na nado danko akufado mbekirem na yehu adinti asesia na yeso on hand over mfa ma bosompem eye osafo Marfo ofi nti no wo behwemfo yin na efa yi papa ipo ye no obo adwuma nti senior advisor ose hwe senate me bana na eko meni ni si onanso e no si na nado danko akufado nanso ayasanso ahye na henche yes ya de my friends and family government no omu di no ma ye ni pa 7 months enye hu don say eko creative access wa na nado danko akufado ne ba yankroma so hye ho yenje ebusian de yebogum sa Dr. Mahmoud Baumia so ukọ ne officer ni anu mo ho yere so de etiti mugumo sa iti etene no bosompem osafo Marfo say ono na director general de ma senate no nti ofiten crown de awoni tin konsa so onfa baby mfa John ofori Kofi tin crown pe baby mfa na ye pese ye hu sentinti aye pampape because wo hwe hawa ya terminate na appointment na too harsh bibi hye baby o say ye hu ye bone tuja nti e de etene no yes ye koye nim sa Yo. Inti mepe se yebe kaka ye ho kakra. Eye NDC women organizer, your friend Dr. Louisa Hannah BC. Yebe kaya okushia eye ahemfo assigning eye peace council penifo bi din komo. Kwanya. Eniama koso yisi. Na peace council akon manu atum sei. Ahemfo ni biso akon manu atum. Na His Excellency John Dramani Mahama time obeka 2016. Obehan say Catholic Bishop for issue statement. Peace Council abekasa Pentecostal and Charismatic Council oma bekasa. Just say omo basa. One say Charlotte say I see you. Entiasio His Excellency John Dramani for one tumo change logo nsembebre. Aye bisa say DNT na mekoso yisi BVDs etumi ayera eni bebi akɔhye trading S7 laptops ayera na muntumi hu serial numbers enche se aha na yede koye officers omu UC no hin na ekɔhye ni na ye hu na besi nde the largest opposition party NDC na etia dede sa Ghana fo na yede ye hu jim na NDC women organizer Dr. Hannah Louisa BC kasa papa abro shi asampanifia abobo edine mumba yenko na ensanko famra na enhwe asemo kan de kiromo.
What do you do when you had government-sponsored vigilantes holding guns and to the teeth, being led by a police commander to beat members of parliament, to go into a candidate's house and shoot people? So what was it for? They finished and gave a white paper. What was the government's comment? What about those who went and relieved their pain? What happened? Has the Peace Council tackled that issue? No, it hasn't. Election 2020, people died. 14-year-old girl was shot dead. A man who just went to observe as part and parcel of our civil responsibility as citizens of this country was shot dead. Young ones were killed. What did the state do? What did Peace Council do? Were you able to talk to the president? Those in charge of security, we want to know, because I've seen that in your document. It is written that the issue of 2020 election related violence could not be addressed. If it couldn't be addressed by them, what are we doing talking about peace? If there's no justice. And so if I'm going into an election now, you expect me to trust the system. We went to Ascend North. And if you care to know, 4 of our guys were shot. As a political party, we decided not to make noise out of it. We carried them to the hospital and said, we'll walk over the dead and win the elections. In front of some of us, they came down and launched on some of our guys. We restrained them. But we are not going to restrain anybody anymore. So if you want to talk about peace, Reverend Dr. Chairman, respectfully, if we do not want to play and downplay things that do not need to be downplayed in this country, if you want to call the spade, let's tackle it from where the problem is. So we cannot be in a nation where we keep talking about things around peace. You cannot give me ingredients for Abenquine and come and request from Katequine. It's not going to happen. So when you give us ingredients for violence, it's violence that we beget. So if we really want to face it, I will say it here again, as I said before I was ways ago, that nobody will sit down this time for peace, peace, peace. And when you get there, the peace is not observed, because we will also be on high alert. As far as we are concerned, we are for peace until we are touched.
See, Eddie no. Hannah Louisa BC, doctor. No way to me, I cannot dream. No, Nipa bisa na yes, show mo. Nipa bisa na yes, show mo to me, aquama yen. Also, come ma when this one selling a Ghana, but Kwama Ghana free na. Melkos wa Ghana na hard dream.